This is Twit.
Bandwidth for Know-How is brought to you by CashFly.
This episode of Know-How is brought to you by Wealthfront. Wealthfront is a low-cost automated investment service that is the most sophisticated way for you to invest your money. Whether you've got millions or you're just starting out, visit wealthfront.com/knowhow to sign up and get your free personalized investment portfolio. That's wealthfront.com/knowhow. And by DigitalOcean. Simple and fast cloud hosting built for developers. Deploy an SSD cloud server in 55 seconds. Try it today for free. Visit DigitalOcean.com, and once you sign up, be sure to enter the promo code KNOWHOW in the billing section to get your $10 credit.
Today on Know-How, we've got a project preview.
Welcome to Know-How. It's the Twitch show where we build, bend, break, and upgrade. I'm Father Robert Ballecer.
And I'm Bryan Burnett.
And for the next 45 minutes, we're estimating.
Give or take.
We're going to be showing you some of the toys, the gadgets, the projects that we've been playing with so that you can take them home and play with them on your own.
Yes. And I don't know, we've got a lot of stuff laid out on the table, but...
We do.
Is this the pre-project you're talking about?
Maybe, I don't know. It could be. We're going to surprise the audience a little bit.
I'm feeling a steampunk vibe coming from
yes,
there.
yes. Now, we have been playing a lot with quadcopters the last 2 weeks, so we wanted to break away. You know,
Right.
the Thursday is supposed to be the build day. It's the more serious day.
Yes.
But what we wanted to do, and we haven't done one of these for a long time, is we wanted to give the folks a preview, a little look into some of the things they can expect on not just the build day, but also on our Monday episodes.
I like that idea, because then that gives them a chance to prepare their minds and their wallets, maybe.
Not just prepare, but also there's going to be a challenge that goes along with the second segment, because I want people to really start playing. And it's
so you're
going
to challenge people to show us up? Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, look, our best day is when you get onto our Google Plus page and you give us a project that we've done, but it's better. We love that, because you know, when you exceed what we've done, it means we've done our job.
Yes, and you know, I'm always impressed to see them, and then I feel really bad about myself.
No,
so.
I feel good. You should feel good.
I feel good.
It's like when your kid gets on the bike and rides away from you, it's like, oh.
Yeah, without the training
You don't
wheels
go
on.
there and knock your kid off the bike.
I don't
Maybe
have
I'm
a
asking
kid
the
yet.
wrong person. You don't knock Turbs off the bike.
I might.
You might.
I might.
Okay, that's sad. All right, well, let's get away from Bryan's bad parenting, and instead, let's talk about something that's been a long time coming, and that is some networking stuff. People have been asking us to get back into networking, specifically networking stuff that they can use. Now, we've had questions about how can I find out what device is using the most bandwidth? What's the best kind of router I can get?
Right.
What about open source, OpenWRT, DDWRT? And we want to give you a little preview of some of the things that we're going to be bringing up on a future Monday episode when we do a router shootout.
Yes, and as far as routers go, I think the more antennas they have makes it more powerful, right?
Well, I mean, this has one and that has three, so clearly that's
this
better.
is the more powerful
That's
one.
way more
Yeah.
powerful, right?
I want my router to look like a spider.
Actually, they have those too.
I think Leo got that one.
And actually, you've got the Linksys AC1900, which finally has OpenWRT.
Oh, it does.
Right,
Because
so
that was your big gripe about
that was
it.
well, we waited for a year. They promised that OpenWRT was going to be ready when they released the router, and that was what got everyone so excited, because that was such a powerful box.
Yes.
It had the lineage of the old WRT54G.
It looks cool. Yeah,
It's
got
cool.
that nostalgia kind of look to it. But you know, to be honest, I don't care. It doesn't have DDWRT. It works so well for me.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Bryan, because since you have it, you're going to have to install DDWRT, and you're going to tell us all about it. See what you did? You just made yourself more work.
I just gave myself a project.
You just did. You just did. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through these two really quickly, and then I want to show you a little bit of an unboxing.
Okay.
Something that I found at CES that we got in the mail today. Actually, today. We're going to open it up. We're going to show you what I think is the ideal router.
Okay, cool.
But first, let's start off on the lower priced end, because not a lot of people want to spend $200, $300, $400, $500 on a router.
Yeah, I think the Linksys AC1900 is like $200.
It's a little pricey.
Yeah.
It's a little pricey. But we've got this. This is a Tenda. This is their AC1900. This is the AC-15 version. And actually, if you go to the manufacturer page, Alex, it's a decent spec router. You know, this thing, it's not a bad thing. It's a dual band, as all these routers are going to be. It's dual band, so it does 2.4 and 5.8 gigahertz. It's 802.11 ABGNAC, 1300 megabits per second in 5 gigahertz. It's 600 megabits per second in 2.4 gigahertz. And of course, you can combine that. Broadcom dual core with DDWR3 for the memory. Does beamforming, which is why you need multiple antennas. You need multiple antennas to be able to do beamforming. Does MIMO, has a USB 3 port for storage and printer. So like if you wanted to share a printer, if you wanted to plug in a USB drive, hard drive, flash drive,
right,
you could do that and share it over the network.
Okay.
Now I mean, if you go to the side view, this is like, it's not totally bare bones, but
no,
you know, there's nothing completely spectacular about it.
Kind of a strange little hatch pattern thing to it, but you know, it doesn't look bad.
Yeah, it's what I find is it's actually pretty cool. What I like about this is it has something that they call night mode. So
does it turn off all the lights?
It will turn off all the lights.
Which is nice if you have the router in a bedroom or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Because you know, one of the things that we've learned is when you have LEDs going off in the middle of the night,
blinking, yeah,
it does actually affect your sleep. So this is you know, I would consider this pretty good for a dorm.
That's smart.
Yeah. Now, but here's the big selling point. We're going to be putting this to its paces. I'm not expecting anything really spectacular. I'm betting it's not going to make its marked performance numbers, but it's inexpensive. This is an $85 router.
Wow, okay.
And actually go to the Amazon page there, Alex. You can buy one of these right now with Amazon Prime for what, $85.99. So if you are looking for an AC router, you don't have a lot to spend, this is not too bad. I've been playing with it a little bit. It's not horrible. I mean, it really doesn't have a lot of the extras that you might expect from a higher end router, but that's kind of normal, right? I mean,
right.
That's what happens when you don't have a.
The reviews look pretty positive on Amazon.
Well, they're positive because it's inexpensive. I mean, this.
Yeah, you get what you pay for.
You get what you pay for. Now let's take a jump up because we go from this. So I would consider this is not bottom of the barrel. This is actually still pretty good, but it's the economical choice for an AC router.
Yeah, I would say for someone who just wants to do regular Wi-Fi browsing, $80 is probably the most they're going to want to spend on a router.
More than enough. More than enough. But we go from that to this. So this is an amped wireless. This is their AC1750. Actually, the model number is TAP-R3. TAP-R3. Nothing special, as you mentioned. More antennas is better. This only has one, right? So clearly,
this almost looks like one of those old cell phone.
Oh,
it's a little loose. Like it looks like you would put a handheld phone on there. Yeah.
Now this is okay. I mean, again, it's dual band 802.11 ABGNAC. Same specs for speed. It's about 1300 megabits per second and 5 gigahertz, 450 megabits per second and 2.4 gigahertz. It's got 3 2.4 gigahertz amps, 3 5 gigahertz amps. So in that sense, it actually is, you get a bit better discrete reception and amplification from this over the Tenda.
Okay.
So that does account for a little extra quality. USB 2 storage and printer, which not so happy with that because everything is USB 3 now, and that's really going to slow you down. Now, if it's just printers, if all you want to do is share a printer, USB 2 is fine. But if you're looking at using your router as sort of your storage device,
probably not a good choice.
I don't understand why they would have done that. On the other hand, the Tenda does have a USB 3.0 port, but the processor in here, which is a Broadcom, I was doing some of the math. I don't think it's actually powerful enough to share something at the pure USB 3 spec over the network while keeping the network working.
Okay. So it does have USB 3, but it may not be able to take full advantage of it.
Right, exactly. But this is what you get with the amped wireless that you don't get with the Tenda. If you go down to the side view here, Alex, this actually has.
Is that a touch screen?
There's a touch screen on it. Right here. Actually, here, go to our super cam. We have the know-how super cam now. Look at that.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. So this actually, you know, I don't know if this is awesome or super cheesy. It's got a little stylus in it.
No.
Yeah. This is like Pocket PC.
Wow, okay.
It does lag a tiny bit. It's not the most responsive. So here, you can see all of our settings. Know-how 24.
Padre, our passwords.
Super hard to break into this thing. Yeah. So go figure that. However, one of the cool things about this router is you can set everything up from the screen. You never have to log in with a client or a laptop. You can do everything from here.
That's nice.
That's actually pretty good. This is something I would actually give to my parents because if they ever have a question, I'm not saying, okay, now open up a browser and ipconfig, make sure you're actually connected to the router.
192.168.1.1.
This is, hey, do me a favor, press the screen, go into the setup and see if those are actually the things you're using. Are you using that password? Are you using that SSID?
I like that idea, but it almost worries me more that they could get themselves in trouble.
This stylus is useless. It's completely, absolutely.
Yeah, I've never seen a router that comes with a
useless.
stylus.
Right. Wait. Let's go to more settings. What are the more settings here?
More settings.
Yeah. So you can change the security features. You can change the network features. It's not bad. I do notice that it does lag quite a bit. But
it's a router.
Yeah. So that's a cool feature, but this is significantly more expensive than you're going to get with the Tenda. The Tenda was about $86,
right.
$85.99, $86. This is going to go for about $180.
Wow, so almost $100 more.
Right.
You think a lot of that cost is the screen on there?
A lot of that cost is the screen.
I like that idea, but I also feel like if I were to give that to my grandmother, and she would probably start pressing things on it. Like I almost like having stuff behind a wall that sometimes I have to go in and fix it, but if she has direct access to a screen like that, I know she'll be probing it and messing stuff up.
Yeah. Actually, Dale Poco in the chat room, I think he sums up what I think, which is it's a tad gimmicky.
Yeah. But I'd like to see if the speed tests are better, then it might be worth it.
And we will be doing that. We're going to be actually running a pure speed test between the Tenda and the Amped Wireless. We're going to see, is this worth $100 more?
For a 4-inch touchscreen.
For a 4-inch touchscreen. Now, the other thing I will say, and this goes back to it feels like an old phone, you can take this off. This is designed to be wall hung. So you could put this like in the kitchen wall right up there and say, okay, Mom, that's the internet. Anything ever goes wrong, just go to the internet. And,
it's right next to your landline phone. Try not to get them confused. Pull out your stylus.
Excuse me, Padre. According to the website, you're supposed to put it next to your coffee.
Oh, that actually might explain why I was having some connection problems. I didn't have a cup of coffee next to it.
Oh, here, I've got my cup of...
Let's check the responsiveness now.
There we go.
Okay, hold on. I think, so what we need, as long as we've got that coffee makes this screen work a lot better. Let's check.
Greasy fingertips.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, by the way, oleophobic material, not so much. So you will collect every fingerprint ever.
That's why you use the stylus.
Oh, there you go.
But look at the stylus. Look at the stylus. Here, let me.
Hey, but you know what? You can only put it back one way. So it's already got the Note 5 beat.
I will say that that stylus, if I gave this to my parents, that would be gone within 30 minutes.
What stylus? Yeah.
Like my dad will have used it as a toothpick.
Right, yeah, I was going to say, are you sure it's not like a Swiss Army knife toothpick?
It's just gone.
I just changed the setting. Actually, perfect. What you said, my parents would accidentally do something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And suddenly the thing won't work the way I think it's going to work anymore. So I don't know. Cool idea. Cool idea. I don't know if it's worth it. Probably what I want to do is replace my parents' router with this, and let's see
what happens.
It's like those commercials. We've replaced his coffee with decaf.
Right.
Let's see what happens.
And then your dad doesn't notice until you tell him, and then he just slowly.
Yeah.
You did what?
And throws the cup across the floor. There we go. Yeah. So okay, those are two decent routers. We've had those for a while. I really haven't wanted to do a router episode just because routers, they're not terribly exciting.
No, they're not exciting, but when you need a router and you're having a lot of technical issues, having just a good router can make all the difference when it comes to setting up your network, getting a lot of different devices to connect to that network. And for me, I was having a ton of issues gaming, like with my Xbox One and my NAT. So like when I switched to the AC1900, no problems, way better speeds. The 5 gigahertz helps because I'm kind of in a crowded neighborhood, and it had better penetration through the walls and stuff too. So I'm getting a better signal all around.
Yeah, and I think you're right. A cheap router is a cheap router. If you go out and you buy a $20 router, expect a $20 router.
Yeah.
And more of us are now actually using the upper limits of our speed. So there's a lot of junk out there that says, oh, it's a gigabit router. But if you look at the amount of processor and memory space that it has, it could like max out at 500 megabits.
Right.
It can't do it. It's not actually physically possible of doing a gigabit.
It kind of comes down to how much pain are you willing to deal with when you have like 4 or 5 cell phones that are connecting to the network, tablets, laptops, and then multiple gaming devices, and then you are getting those issues of like, oh, it's not connecting right now, or like Netflix just paused because the Chromecast isn't getting a good signal.
Oops.
Yeah, I think
are bad.
routers are the kind of thing, they're the workhorses of the whole network, but they never get enough credit until something goes wrong, you know?
No one remembers the router until they're cursing the router.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I better turn that thing off and on again.
I know, kind of like a technical director.
Exactly.
Good thing Alex never screws up.
Ever.
Yeah.
Oh,
God.
Thanks, Alex. All right, but let's go on to the reason why we're doing this now, and that's because I want to do an unboxing.
All right, we just
Literally.
got this today.
Literally just got this today. It was on my desk when we came into the studio, and that immediately made me want to do this. I found this at CES, at the Synology booth. This is the RT1900 AC.
Oh, the Synology. So they've got that
Synology.
nice software stuff packed
Yeah,
into it.
so I mean, we know them because they're our NAS box of choice.
Right.
We like their NASs. They're very dependable, incredibly feature-packed, and powerful. So you could drop a lot of functions on them. They sent this to me, and what I want to do really quickly, let's go ahead and see how quickly it takes for us to get this thing up and running. And I want to see how this thing is equipped, because at the booth they showed me a great demonstration. I want to see how quickly I can demonstrate that. So go to the side view here. That's the back. There we go. Side view, and yeah.
Really
so
gotta get in there.
yeah, you're showing the.
It's
plastic.
just bubble wrap.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, hey, antennas.
Oh, hey, 3 antennas, Brian. What did we say about that?
We love antennas.
3 antennas are better, right? It's 3 times better.
If it was 4 antennas, I might feel even better about it.
Okay. So, of course, this, like the other ones, this is a dual band. This does both 2.4 gigahertz and 5.8 gigahertz.
Yeah.
This actually has a ton of power. It's a dual-core 1 gigahertz processor.
Nice.
And the reason why they did the overkill was because they're going to be, like the operating system for the NASs, they want you to have the extra firepower to be able to drop on like file sharing programs or VPN programs.
Right.
And that's actually why I'm so excited. I want to see how far can I extend the functionality of this router. You get all the standard stuff. You're going to get antennas. You're going to get power adapters. It looks like there's a base in here.
Can you wall mount it?
Yeah, with this wall mount.
I kind of want to put my router on a wall mount.
Okay, so let's get this off the table.
Wait, where's the stylus?
I know. There's no screen on this.
What?
I know. What were you thinking, Synology? Put a screen on your routers, because that's what we want to do. We want to stare at things. Yeah. So this, like, if I want to do a stand, well, how do I do that? Oh, here we go.
There you go.
Wait.
Looks...
Oh, look at me. Boom. What?
Ooh.
What?
Already set up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's go back to this.
I think that was user error.
That was really
I won't
user error.
blame Synology.
So
for that.
yeah, go ahead and get these antennas out.
Sure.
One of the things I should mention: anytime you're dealing with wireless technology, be it a router or say an FPV camera, never ever power it up unless you've got the antenna connected.
Why is that?
Because there's no place for the energy to go.
Oh.
And if the device is not properly designed, you actually can't kill a radio. You will kill an FPV transmitter if you don't have the antenna. You did that, didn't you?
Is that why it hasn't been working? I'm sure it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's probably okay, right?
It's like not
Right.
wearing the anti-static wrist strap when you're vacuuming out your PC, right?
And then you wonder why things don't work properly.
All right. Okay.
All right, okay. So what we got here is I've got a laptop that's got a clean installation. We're gonna go ahead and just put. I did ask them to do a few parameters for me so that I wouldn't have to set them up on the
Wait,
on the
so you
show.
can like, or was that a special thing? Or?
That was a special thing.
Oh,
That was a
okay,
special. No,
okay.
you can't.
I was like, you can pre-configure from the factory? That's cool.
That would be cool, but also very time consuming.
Yeah,
would,
right.
would be my guess. So let me hook this up to the externals so we can get a little bit of connectivity.
Okay.
There we go. Anyone who's ever done this before, you know exactly how a router works. You plug the WAN into the modem that connects you to your cable or your DSL service, and then the LAN goes into your internal computers.
Yep.
Let me power it up. Oh, okay, lights. That's a good thing. just to make sure.
Right,
you need
right.
lights. So this is going to go ahead and do its self-test. Some of the things about this, again, 256 megabytes of DDR3 memory. So we are, again, talking about a significant amount of power along with that dual-core 1 gigahertz processor.
That's quick.
It is quick, and it also gives you a lot of headroom. It does beamforming and multiple in, multiple out, which is nice because it does mean that it can talk to individual devices without spamming an entire area.
That's cool.
It also has a few things that I really like. First of all, we're back to the USB. If you go to, actually here, let's do this. If you go to the side, it's got a USB
Nice.
3 port, so I
Yeah.
can share printers and storage.
Full-sized SD card slot?
Full-size
Is that it?
SD card slot, yeah. So if you want to put in a 64 or 128 gigabyte slot card in that, that's now shared within the entire network. The other thing is, with this power of CPU and with that much memory, you will be able to take full advantage of the storage devices that you put in there. So, I mean, it's not one of these where they give you the slot, but you can't run it at full speed.
Kind of like our, what is it, the Tentaka or something?
The Tenda?
Tenda.
What did you call it? The Tanaka?
I thought it was like a Tonka. And
Isn't that like buffalo?
oh
Oh my goodness! This is what happens.
One question I've always wondered though is, does it matter how you angle your antennas when you've got it all set up? Like, can you do this? Will this affect it in any way?
Kind of, it can. But we'll talk about that.
Okay,
in a bit.
we'll get there.
Go ahead and go to my my computer. All right, so we've got a standard. If you've used any of the DSM. That's the disk station operating system that runs on a NAS. This will be immediately recognizable. This is how it looks. So I've got a login, and I'm not going to tell you what my password
Admin,
is.
and the password is password.
Password.
Got it.
There we go. So I will go from that to this. Now this looks almost exactly like the UI inside of a Synology DSM, Synology NAS box. Oh, okay. So let's start with the network center. The network center is where we would set everything up. This is probably one of the best UIs. Go ahead and zoom in on that, Alex. This is one of the best UIs I have ever used. It gives you everything at a glance. And for those people who are wondering how they could keep track of individual devices or individual sites where all my data is going, this will do it for you. This actually lets you keep your eye on what devices are using what. Right now, there's only one device. But I could find out, oh, hey, Brian's phone is connected, and it's used 5 gigabytes in the last 3 minutes.
I really should stop downloading those movies to my phone.
Exactly. But it'll also let you keep track. So right now, I'm only using 5% of my CPU, 5 to 10%. I've got so much headroom, which is exactly what I'm going to need, because I'm going to show you some of the features you can add on in just a little bit.
I like that. And you can diagnose if something's really hammering it.
Right. So the other things is, if you look to this side, Alex, if you go to the little camera, I do like this. I'm not a fan of WPS. I wish WPS would just go away. But there's actually a hardware switch for the Wi-Fi.
I can see that being handy.
I know to a lot of people that sounds silly, but I love the ability to be able to, especially if I mount this on the wall, to be able to go and just say, I'm turning off the Wi-Fi. Like when I leave and I'm not going to be there, I don't have any devices that connect wirelessly. I'll just shut it off. And that's one less vector for someone to get into my network.
I like that idea, yeah, totally.
Yeah. And there are some devices that do like a software switch, but I'm too lazy to log in and then switch it off.
No, it's one of those things where it's like, if it's on there, I like having it, you know, but if it's not there, I kind of miss it.
Yeah. No, but this is a nice one. All right, now the other thing that we were playing with here is the parental controls. So what I could do is I could add, let's say Brian. Let's say I'm adding you here.
Yes.
And I'm saying, you know what? He doesn't need to be accessing the internet anytime over here or anytime over here. And it will do it by device.
Wow.
So actually, I mean, you can spoof it, but I mean, if you've got kids, you can go by device and say, your phone will not be able to access the internet via Wi-Fi
between this and
between this time and this time, or this Ring video doorbell will not work between this time and this time. And it's really that simple. This is all contained within the operating system.
That
really
interface
like this.
is really slick.
Yeah,
Like,
look at this.
It makes a lot of sense.
Look how easy it is to block out times. Just do that. Okay, that's out, and let's add that in and put this is so nice. This is again one of the best systems I've ever seen for parental controls.
You can make little faces out of it.
And now it's Minecraft. I'm Minecrafting my. Oh wait, smile face. Wait. There we go.
What are you doing there? Oh, I see it.
Yeah? Huh?
A little face.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the biggest barrier to a lot of routers is how intuitive is the interface.
And the answer is not very.
Yeah, most routers are super confusing.
Yeah.
And that's like when I was first studying, like, you know, figuring out how a router worked, it was like you click on something and then there was an info bar that would pop up on the side, and it was like, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, and that's the thing about like OpenWRT and DDWRT. I love it. I think it's great. I would never give one of those to my parents because they have no idea what those settings mean.
Yeah, like QoS, DMZ.
So this is a dumbed down GUI, but it still gives you access to all of the advanced features, which I'm a big fan of. There's a lot of other things in here that we could play with, but the one I really want to show you is this. This is what makes this router, I think, the best one I've ever seen, the package center. If you've got a Synology NAS, you know exactly what this is. This connects to the Synology library, and any modules that they may have, it's a one-click install. So for example, right now, I can add a VPN server. You want to set up a VPN server? It exists. All I have to do is click this and add it.
That's cool.
And it drops that module into the router, and now I have a way to access my network from anywhere without having to fudge around. Remember how we had to do it on DDWRT? It was a pain in the butt. It didn't always work. Not only will this do VPN server, so not only will it accept, it can be a client. So if you want all the traffic in your network to go over a VPN and be dropped out someplace else, you can do it through the router. You don't have to do it per client.
That's pretty slick.
That's
I like
so
that.
slick. I love that. And then the other applications here, you've got everything from. Hold on, where's the?
I like the little package icon they have.
Yeah, I know. Everything from media server, you can run your own Radius server, you can run your own DNS server. I mean, these are things that people wanted to create. You can now just install the package and be done. And by the way, this is running Linux. So if you do want to write your own packages, you can do that.
That's pretty. I was wondering why the toolbar was at the top. I was like, that is very Linux.
It is very Linuxy. This is a nice one. Okay, the downside is going to be the price.
Okay. Well, I'm you know, routers have gone so far beyond hardware now that the software, it's a little computer.
It is a computer.
It's like with its own OS and everything. Yeah. So what is the price?
$220.
$220?
$220.
But how often would you say you would buy a router for a normal household? Like once every 5 years, maybe?
Yeah. And that's the thing. The only way I know to get somewhere near the features and the functions of something like this Synology router would be to like build a PF Sense box. And a PF Sense box, a decent PF Sense box, is going to run you $400 to $500.
Yeah.
And it's going to use way more power than this. I mean, electricity, because remember, this is on 24 hours a day. It's going to use something like 20 times the amount of electrical power that this does. So
that's not bad. I mean, even the Linksys one that I'm using, the AC 1900, is around $200. So.
Yeah, this is not bad at all. I'm going to run this through its paces. I'm going to give a deep dive on this. But
cool.
I mean, I'm serious. I was so excited when I saw this at CES because I've seen a lot of routers that were kind of meh.
Yeah.
This is one I would actually use.
I can see why you're excited about this one, even though it didn't come with a stylus.
Actually, hey Synology, you want to make this better? Here, Alex, if you go here, see right here, you need to put a touch screen.
Yeah, that's the only thing it's missing.
A touch screen would make this so much better, especially since most people keep their routers, you know, like in the back of a desk. Just, yeah, you put that touch screen, and I'm telling you, you'll sell millions of these.
Actually, you know, a touchscreen might not be a bad idea for that, because especially if it was the blocking out time. You know, where you're just like tapping out the blocks and saying like, no.
That's true. But then your kids could come over and go like, oh no, look.
That's why you mount it really high up.
On top of the refrigerator.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. So folks, look for an in-depth review of the Synology. This is the RT1900 AC. I'm going to be doing it up know-how style, the only way that we do how to do reviews, which is very, very, very close and deep into it. I'm going to show you all the features, all the functions, and I actually want to see how it's going to act over the course of a month. I want to see if I have to reboot it a lot. I want to see if it's going to have any vulnerabilities that get exposed. I want to see how often Synology is going to update it. But they've got a leg up in the fact that I love their NASs. I'm sure since this looks a lot like their NASs, they're going to take the same care of it.
No, that's cool. I think half the battle is the software, and they've already been doing that with the NASs, so I like that a lot.
Indeed. Coming up next, we want to give you a project preview. That was a review preview. That's going to go on a Monday. But we've got something that's going to go on a Thursday, and it's not a quadcopter. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and thank the first sponsor of this episode of Know How. Hey, Bryan, you know what I like?
Routers.
Oh,
what
that
else?
too. But money.
Yeah, well, you need money to buy routers.
You do need money, but what you really need is you need to be able to put your money to work for you. There's a lot of people out there who think that investing is really just for rich people, right? It's if you have $100,000 in the bank, $200,000 in the bank.
Right.
What if I were to tell you that everyone who has $500 should be investing at least a little bit?
I would be up for that.
You'd be up for
afford
that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you could do that, but you have to do it wisely. You have to do it with Wealthfront. Now, Wealthfront is a different way for you to invest. It's a different way for you to make your money work for you. Oh, there are a lot of investment firms out there who will take $1,000, $2,000, $10,000, and then they will charge you outlandish fees and a commission rate that is just no bueno. It's not for you. What Wealthfront does is they take out that middleman. In fact, they take out the man altogether. It's based on algorithms, cool, hard, cold, logical algorithms that look for the best place to put your money for you. Now, Wealthfront is a different kind of investment strategy. Traditional advisors will charge those huge fees, but Wealthfront will let you get started investing at a minimum of $500, and they'll take nothing but the bare minimum. It only takes a few minutes for you to sign up for an account at wealthfront.com, and it goes right to work, monitoring your portfolio around the clock and taking action as soon as an opportunity arises. Now, their seamless software optimizes your investment for the best risk-adjusted return. That's important, net of taxes and fees. We've heard from many TWIT fans who have used Wealthfront, and they love how they can diversify their portfolios and buy stocks from in-demand companies like Apple, Amazon, and Facebook, all commission-free. That's right, commission-free. They're transparent and accessible, and this is important to me because I want to know what my money is doing. I want to know what my broker, or in this case, my algorithm is doing with my cash, and you can know at all times just by logging in where your money is allocated, what kind of fees you're looking at, how much your investment is earning for you. They've also got sophisticated investment strategies like tax loss harvesting and direct index optimization that simultaneously lowers your tax bill while investing. In other words, Wealthfront is never going to put you in a position where because they earn just a tiny bit more, they've suddenly dropped you into a higher tax bracket that will result in a net loss. Now, with Wealthfront, you pay 1/4 of 1% a year. Now, let me repeat that, 1/4 of 1%. That's not 1 to 3 or 5%. That's 25 basis points with zero commissions and no hidden fees. That's less than $5 a month to invest a $30,000 account. And again, there are no additional charges for any of Wealthfront's services. They manage over $2.6 billion in client assets, and it's grown over 20 times in the past 2 years. Folks, what are you waiting for? If you've got money sitting in a banking account, it's just being wasted. It's not doing anything for you. Go to Wealthfront today and see what they can do for you. Visit wealthfront.com/knowhow and sign up to get your free personalized investment portfolio. You'll see the customized allocation they recommend for your profile. And just for TWIT listeners, if you sign up to invest, Wealthfront will manage your first $15,000 entirely free of charge for life. Folks, don't pass up on this. This could change your financial future. Join the many TWIT fans who have seen huge success with Wealthfront and claim your offer today at wealthfront.com/knowhow. That's wealthfront.com/knowhow. And we thank Wealthfront for their support of know-how. Hey, Bryan, you know what I'm feeling?
What are you feeling, Bobby?
Cyberpunky. Steampunky.
Steampunky?
Steampunky.
Yeah, so it looks like you've got a little steampunk style going on.
I'm working on a little something. Now, the people who are subscribed to our YouTube channel, because remember, we said we would be publishing content to the YouTube channel that wouldn't be going into the show.
We did tell them that.
We did tell them that, and I have been publishing videos to the YouTube channel. This was one of them. I had a late night, and I'm like, you know what? I want to make something that's not a quadcopter. I want to make something that really has no use other than to look kind of cool.
right. For like a costume or something.
A costume, yeah, and steampunk it was.
Nice.
I've been wanting to do steampunk for a while, but the problem is, I don't know if you know this, but I have no talent as far as design is concerned.
Oh, yeah, I think, but there are people that you know that do, and have you incorporated some of them to help you, or?
I'm trying to get them to help me, but they don't like me. So,
I don't understand why.
This is me. That is. Okay, but what I wanted to do is I want to show you really quick, because next Thursday, I'm actually going to show people how to build a set of really inexpensive, and by inexpensive, I mean like less than $20, a customized set of steampunk goggles that nobody else has.
Okay.
Okay. You can buy a lot of steampunk stuff from Amazon, and for like $20, you could have decent looking, but kind of plasticky.
Is steampunk another name for people repellent or something?
Well, yeah. I mean, you repel the normals. You attract the weird people.
No,
We like
I'm
the weird
kidding.
people.
No, I love steampunk.
Yeah, exactly. So it's this characteristically cool, retro futuristic Victorian / techno look. That's what
Right.
steampunk is, right?
Are there LEDs? All I want to know is, are there LEDs involved, Padre?
Maybe.
Because
Yes,
that's
okay,
what I like.
Yes, there are. Okay, I do want to show you some of the things that you need to do, because we're going to be introducing the project next week.
Cool.
But for the people who are interested on their own, I'm actually going to give you some files. We're going to be giving you links to files so that you can start designing your own.
Cool.
What I wanted an easy entry for people. And they need to be able to build on this. This is a $7.99 pair of goggles. In fact, Alex, there we go. So this on Amazon right now for $7.99, and you can get these in any color you want. You got black, you got silver. It's all good for you.
Can these work as welder's goggles, or are they just for show?
I probably wouldn't use them as welder's goggles.
Okay.
I don't know if they're completely UV compliant, but they look
Right.
really good as steampunk. Now they're not bad on their own. I mean, as you can see here, it looks pretty good, right? I mean, that's not a bad look.
It's a look. It's something.
You know what?
Are you gonna have these for Maker Faire?
Yeah.
Because I think it would be perfect for that.
Yeah. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to give you a way to take this and turn it into something that was special for you.
Yes.
And specifically, I wanted to add a bunch of LEDs and maybe some app control for my Bluetooth phone.
Oh.
Yeah, see, now you're not laughing.
That sounds kind of cool.
Shut it, Brian. So what I did was I designed this. This was created on Tinkercad.
Nice.
And go to this one.
Oh, the
There we go.
Panasonic.
This allows me to create an adapter ring, and that adapter ring lets me hang any design off of those common frames. So I can buy store-bought steampunk goggles from Amazon and then modify them just so that they look distinctly mine. No one else will have this design. No one else will be able to buy this design. This design is entirely me.
I recognize that battery.
Yeah, that's the battery from the SEMA X5s.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Ooh.
I'm using it for this. Now, if you go to 11, Alex, this is what I did with this.
Ooh.
So this is the design that I had to create in order to create that thing that you're seeing there. There's a lot of compound shapes here. There's a lot of things that Tinkercad wasn't really designed to do, like slanted sides and hollowed out tubes. There's a little bit of work that's involved in this.
Yeah, it looks kind of complicated because is Tinkercad's kind of.
It's basic.
Well, it's basic, and aren't you kind of working with a shape and reducing from that? Like you're not.
Right.
You're
Yeah,
kind of
it's
cutting
not like you're
away.
building a shape. Most of the time in Tinkercad, you create a shape and then you hollow it out.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so that's what all these are. These are negative space. So those are shapes that cut space out of a solid object. And so that's what I've done. That's what I've created. But what I wanted to give the audience, this. There is a file that will be available on the Know How show page. This took a while to design because it has to fit exactly. This is the ring on which you build your design. Once you have this ring, anything you attach to the ring will attach to the goggles.
I like it.
Yeah. So hey, Alex, if you come back out, these are the silver goggles, and this will attach like so. And give that a turn. See if you can turn that at all.
No.
Yeah, it's solid,
No, that's
right?
tight. Yeah.
That's super tight. The tolerance is up, and that's why it took me a while to design it.
Did you have to sand it at all?
No. This is straight out of the printer. So this is what I wanted. I wanted to give you a design that would work properly without you having to do any post-printing modifications.
How many prototypes did you have to do?
A lot.
Yeah, that's kind of.
Well, the ring only took me 3 tries.
Oh, okay.
Because I had a pretty good inkling of what they did.
Yeah.
And I was able to bring it out. But see, what I had to do, and if you go to the mini cam again, if you'll see, there's like beveled edges there.
Yeah.
And so if you look at the inside of the ring, I had to match those edges with those edges.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's the design that I'm giving to you. So anyone can download that adapter ring, and then you can hang anything you want. So this entire structure here, I actually hung off of that adapter ring,
Yeah.
which means any of these goggles, no matter what color you might buy, this will work perfectly.
That's cool. I like that.
Now there is a right eye and there's a left eye because This isn't this cutout for the nose piece. It's in a different place. But what we want to do is we want to see what you come up with. So, for example, I've come up with this. The magnifying loops that's a very steampunk thing, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of times they clip them to the side of the goggles, which I did not like that look. This is actually built in. If you go to this again, this is built in to the structure. One of the other things I've done is I bought a bunch of these. These are little brass gears. Now, nothing says steampunk like a bunch of brass. We love ourselves some brass. These are just decoration.
Yeah.
But what I'm thinking about doing is I'm thinking about driving these with an Arduino and a micro servo.
So they're just kind of spinning around and stuff? I like that idea.
Yeah. And then, of course, what we need is a way to drive everything. So I got this. This, if you go to the overhead, Alex, this is an Arduino Micro Pro and a Bluetooth module. So what this will allow me to do is this will allow me to control both the LEDs that I'm going to put in these goggles and to control them wirelessly.
Nice. That's a little guy.
That's a tiny little guy, right? And if you look, I've already designed for it because, take this off, the batteries are going to be on this side and the control circuitry is all going to fit on that side.
Nice.
So this design is pretty much complete. I didn't give you the entire design. What I gave you is I gave you the ring, but you can build your own. I want to see what you come up with. I want to see what kind of designs you make. But hopefully this is a little bit of an inspiration. The other thing, and this was suggested by Lost, from the Lost Boy from DEF CON.
Right.
He pointed me to some mechanical irises, like those that you have in the old style cameras. And I actually have already built a circuit that will control that with a servo. And there's a light control that I can hook up to the Arduino, so it will just automatically open and close.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So I'm getting excited about this. I already have a couple of ideas that I want to try on this.
Yeah, again, the file is going to be inside of the show notes. If you go to the show notes for this show, you'll be able to download that adapter ring, drop it into Tinkercad, and show me what you got. Go ahead and build one of these. And remember, these goggles, they're $8 from Amazon. So buy yourself a pair of goggles and get yourself, if you've got a 3D printer or access to a 3D printer, this will work right off the tray. You don't have to do any modification other than sticking it onto the front.
Nice.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think what I want to do is eyebrows. So I can change, like, I'm angry or, like, sad. Yeah?
Well, I've got something for you. I actually created these. These are custom 3D printed. What they'll allow me to do is to put, Alex, if you go to the overhead, they will allow me to put, this is a WS2812 ring of LEDs. It fits exactly inside these goggles, like so. And once you get it in there, it keeps the light from shining back into your eye. That's so these.
Smart, yeah. So you don't blind yourself.
Yeah. Next week I will give everyone the file for this. But this took me like all of 30 seconds to design.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is I don't need to use any adhesive. That just keeps.
Just pops in there, huh?
It keeps that in there.
Cool.
Right? So I'll show people how to wire this up. I've got the code for this already done, which it actually didn't take that much time. It's pretty much the code that we used for the Christmas lights.
Right, but just reduced to that number of LEDs or something?
Reduced for this LEDs, plus I had to give myself a control scheme so that I could change it from my phone.
Ah, I like that. That's cool.
Yeah. Now, the cool thing, again, is all of this, I'm not keeping any of this for myself. All of my examples will be available next week. But this week, I just wanted to give you that ring so that we could see what you did. Remember, we're happiest when you outdo us.
I have a feeling we're going to be very happy because you're giving enough stuff that people can really go crazy with this.
Yeah. And also, we'll put a couple of links. These gears, like this bag o' gears, cost like $6.
Bag o' gears.
Yeah. And I'm probably going to change the filament color to black instead of white. White's not.
Finally putting that 3D printer to good use, Padre.
I know, go figure. Now, folks, when we come back, we want to go ahead and jump into some feedback. We're running out of time, but we want to cover a couple of your questions. But before we do that, let's go ahead and thank the second sponsor of this episode of Know How, and you know it's got to be DigitalOcean.
That's right.
Now, DigitalOcean is a different way to think about services and applications on the internet. In the old way, you'd have to stand up a server. You have to make an agreement with an internet service provider. Then you'd have to make sure that it stays maintained, right? Is the operating systems okay? Is it secure? Has everything been updated? And are my applications going to work properly, or do I need to work on expanding what I have as far as my network resources are concerned? Well, you could still do that if you wanted to. If you wanted to take a lot of time to do a very painful job, or you could go with DigitalOcean. Now, DigitalOcean is built for developers, by developers. It's used by over 600,000 of them, including Twit's Randall Schwartz, Aram Newcomb, and myself. You can deploy and configure your droplets. These are self-contained containers that have your services, have your applications, anything you need to virtualize. And those droplets can be put on 1 system, 2 systems, 12 systems, 1,000 systems, depending on what you need. It's responsive to your design. It's responsive to your demands. If you want to deploy it just for a few minutes so that some friends can test it out to see what the load is like, or if you want to go global, it's simply the move of a slider. Now, you can select from one of many pre-configured one-click installs like Drupal, Docker, or Node.js. You can get up running quickly. You could choose your OS like Ubuntu, CentOS, Debian, Fedora, CoreOS, and FreeBSD. You get to deploy them via a very easy-to-use and simple API that, again, takes you from a very minor deployment to a global deployment in just seconds. Now, it's highly scalable, and you can use their advanced features like floating IPs for high availability, private networking, and automatic deployments via API. One of the things that I always look for whenever I'm looking at a new service, something that's going to contain the work that I've created, is I want an active community. I want to see if the people who are using the service like the service, because that's normally a good indicator of whether or not it's going to work for me. Well, DigitalOcean has an extremely active community with a large and detailed set of tutorials on the different ways that you can use your droplet. You want to configure a LAMP server? Go ahead and set up a virtual desktop or a VPN, because they got you covered and their community will help you. It's so easy to get started that you can deploy an SSD cloud server in as little as 55 seconds. I don't know why you wouldn't at least give them a try. So here's what we want you to do. We want you to try DigitalOcean. They have incredibly affordable and straightforward pricing with servers starting at just $5 a month. There's also hourly pricing available, starting at less than a penny per hour. But we're going to make it so that you can get started today and deploy an SSD cloud server for free. Visit DigitalOcean.com and create an account. Once you confirm your email and account information, go to the billing section and enter the promo code KNOWHOW for a free $10 credit. That's plenty to get started and explore what DigitalOcean can do for you. Again, that's DigitalOcean.com, DigitalOcean.com. And once you sign up, enter the code KNOWHOW in the billing section to get your $10 credit for free. Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
You know what I want to do now?
What's that?
I want to answer some questions.
Cool. We got some questions from the G Plus group.
I think this is a good time for us to talk about, I don't know, maybe power.
More power?
More power.
Like wanting to go over water on a hoverboard?
No. Let's stay away from those. Let's talk more about computers.
Okay.
What do we got?
This one comes from Jason Phillips, and he asks, I am looking to upgrade my Apple Mac Mini Core i5, 2.5 gigahertz with 4 gigabytes of RAM. It's a late 2012 model with 500 gigabytes SATA hard drive. I would like to know what should I get at the best price since I don't have much to spend. Also, what would be a good version of Linux to use on the Mini? I love your show and have been watching Twit since day one. Been following Leo since the first time Padre was in the audience on the old screensavers. Oh, you were in the audience?
I was.
Oh.
I went to one show. That was my claim to fame. I went to one show, and that was the one where Patrick made the Cantenna.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah, it's way back. That was my inspiration.
Wow. I was watching that back in high school. I don't know.
Shut up. I hate when people say that. It's like, stop it. Yes, I'm old. Okay, I get it. All right, Jason, first of all, great. Thank you very much for writing to us. It's great whenever we get interaction with the audience.
Yeah.
The second thing is, you've really got two questions here. The first question is, what should I do to upgrade my Mac Mini? And the second question is, what kind of Linux should I install on it? And I think we can answer both of those.
Okay. Well, what would you recommend?
Well, okay, the first thing is, when we're looking at SSDs, I know there's a lot of people who say, look, I can't spend that much money. And I get that. But let me start off by saying, today, the difference between a really good high-performance SSD and a run-of-the-mill kind of not-so-great SSD is actually really, really minimal. So you're not saving a lot of money. Like, for example, here's one, the OCZ. And I know OCZ has a very, very bad reputation, but they were bought by Toshiba, and some of their newer products are actually pretty decent. Alex, if you go to this link, there's a OCZ. It's a 240 gigabyte SATA 3, 2.5 inch solid state drive, about $66. that's not bad. You know,
For 240 gigabytes?
For 240 gigabytes. However, go to that second link, Alex. And this is the Kingston Savage. This is the one that I use. It's much, much faster. It's way, way over provisioned. So it has a lot more fault tolerance than that OCZ. And it's $86.99. You're talking about $20 more, and you get a significantly better drive.
That is, that's tempting, yeah.
It's tempting. So I'm not going to do any more than that. I'm just going to say, yes, you can get the cheaper drive, and the cheaper drive will probably work okay for you. But if you can spend the $20 more, so that's about 25% more, you get a significantly better drive that will last longer.
How much overkill is one of these drives? Like, how much faster can the drive run than this Mac Mini is capable of?
They're both actually faster than that Mac Mini can go.
Okay, so it doesn't really matter.
As far as speed is concerned, for that Mac Mini, that OCZ and the Kingston are going to run at pretty much the same speed.
So what you're going to be looking for more reliability.
Reliability, right? Exactly, because again, the Kingston drives are way over provisioned. There's way more memory than they need. So that means when memory cells go bad, they have them in spare.
Okay.
I kind of like that. That's
but you're going to notice a big difference probably on that old, especially loading times.
Yeah. But you're dead on in that that's probably the best way to upgrade your Mac Mini. Cool. It sounds like you've got plenty of memory. You're not going to have to upgrade that. But that swap from a rotating hard drive to an SSD, that will be your most significant upgrade. And again, you can do it for $66, but if you can find $20 more, please consider a higher end drive.
Cool. But then, so what Linux would you recommend?
Okay, so Mac Mini, especially a 2011 Mac Mini, there's not a lot of power there.
Yeah.
Some people, I like Fedora, but I use Fedora in my servers. I would not use that on this. I would start with either Mint or Ubuntu. Those would be my two flavors. They work pretty well on lower end systems. Right. And especially Mint. Mint is really good at figuring out what it can and cannot run.
Right. Yeah, that's what I would recommend starting out with, would be Mint.
Right, exactly. So there you go. Yes, upgrade the SSD. Consider getting the faster SSD, but definitely try Mint. And if Mint works, go ahead and try Ubuntu. And if you don't like Ubuntu, go back to Mint.
Yes.
Okay. Let's do one more before we close up. I know we're running long, Alex. I'm sorry about this, but we're going to do this just to annoy you. What do we got?
All right. This one comes from Joseph LeBlond. Bonde. How long of a wire could I run to an external temperature sensor from an Uno? I'm going to try and install my own compass and thermometer using Groove sensors and the 96 by 96 display. Any tips would be great.
Yes. Thank you for doing this. This is I2C.
Oh.
I2C is a great bus. It's the way that Raspberries and Arduinos can communicate with peripherals very, very easily. There's a lot of confusion about what you can and cannot do with it. Now, what I've got here, if you go to the overhead, this. Look at this. And remember how we talked about knockoffs?
Yes.
So there's Arduino and there's SparkFun. This is Arduino Fun. So it's like both
terrible.
of them. Yeah, this is definitely a knockoff. But this has the regular headers, but you'll also notice it has this. Now, I2C does not have a standard connector. This is the one that they chose to use. But the nice thing about this is I can also hook it up to that. So this gives me a hub for I2C. So now I go from being able to connect two I2C devices to being able to connect all of these I2C devices.
Yeah, that gives you a lot of outputs.
It gives me a lot. And then it uses a series of cables that are standard for them. I got this all off of eBay. This was like $1.99. This was like $2. And then these cables were something like 30 cents each. And what it allows me to do is it allows me to use any of, let me get these out of the way, these. Now everything from like this is an LED to, I think I actually do have the exact screen. Yeah, here's the screen that he's playing with. Fortunately, I don't have scissors. I can't open that up. This is a little OLED screen, 96 by 96. That's the one that he's talking about. Any of these will hook up just via this I2C connector.
Nice.
And I can communicate with them. But what he's asking is he wants to know how far can he push that before the signal degrades. And the answer is, it depends.
Why is that?
Because it depends on the cable. It depends on the quality of the board that it's connected to, like the quality of the hub. And it definitely depends on how fast you're pushing the communication. So at 500 megahertz, you can go maybe this distance. I wouldn't want to go any further because it's really designed for sort of inter-device communication from one to the other.
Okay.
Drop that down to 100 megahertz, and now you might be able to go several meters. So the slower you make the communication clock cycle, the more fault tolerant it is. So what I would do is I would find out for you with your wire, with the impedance of the wire that you're using, start at like 100 megahertz. Drop your communication cycle down, especially if you don't need really fast communication. If it works on that, then increase the speed and keep increasing the speed until it no longer works, until you're getting garbled communications. And that will tell you how far you can push it.
Okay. Is there any way of doing like a relay or something like that?
Yes, you can buffer these. So if you want to get further out and out, you just add a buffer, you add another hub, and it kind of repeats the signal.
Okay, cool.
But that's the rule of thumbs is start low and then increase to the point at which you lose communication, and that's pretty much tells you your limit.
Cool. I like that idea.
Yeah. Now, Brian,
Yeah.
that was a lot of information for
That
one
was a
show.
lot of stuff.
That was a lot of stuff. We want you to be able to follow along, so we're going to make sure that the show notes get better. Thank you for pointing out our show notes have been a little sparse.
Yes.
A little sparse. We were a little tired, but we'll get better in the future. We want you to be able to get the links for the adapter ring because we want you to make your own Steampunk goggles. We want you to be able to buy your goggles from Amazon so that you'll be ready when we get to the Steampunk project.
You're going to need your gear doodads.
You're going to need your gear doodads, and I'm also going to make sure you get links for all of the I2C gear that we were playing with, because this is actually where we're going to be going next when we start doing Arduino again, because, oh man, the possibilities are limitless with I2C.
Okay, cool. I'm looking forward to playing with that.
But Brian, where do they go if they want to find those notes?
So you'll go to twit.tv/KH, and not only will the show notes be there, but past episodes where you can subscribe and or download to your preference. But if you want to catch us somewhere else, there's always the Google Plus group where people post their projects, which, considering after today's episode, people are probably going to want to show off some of the Tinkercad stuff.
Show off! Yeah, I have no design skills, and I was able to make something that looks halfway decent. Show me what you came up with. I would love to see what you do with that adapter ring. Hang stuff off of it, make it look way more steampunky. Give us your pictures, give us your videos. We would love to show you off on the show.
Right. Best way to find the Google Plus group is just go to Google Plus and search for Know-How and look at this guy's cartoon mug out there.
It's me. I'm right there. Also, don't forget you can find us on the Twitters. You can find me at PadreSJ.
And I am at Cranky_Hippo.
And our director is at ANELF3. I forgot what his name was, so I'm just going to call him an L3.
There's no time.
No time for that. No time for that.
Yeah.
We'll save it.
Now, next Monday, we're actually going to be showing off something that's really near and dear to my heart, and that's that Monster Gaming notebook that we showed off at the unboxing a few weeks ago. I've got the full review. If you want to see how it performs and how it did with one of my favorite games, Homeworld, you got to tune in. Until that time, I'm Father Robert Ballecer.
I'm Bryan Burnett.
And now that you know how,
Go do it.
it's Steampunk.
Steampunk.